What do you think are the main problems professional facing that?
15 years, 12 years, 13 years, they're there in that toxic environment. What's happening? Your confidence level is going down every single day. Have you done your checks and balances? Have you communicated? Have you taken feedback? Have you understood? Where do you see yourself? A typical HR question, right? Where do you see yourself after 5 years or after 2 years? I said, I see myself in your chair. I told him that.
What has
Yeah.
been your driving force?
But how do you become a leader? A leader who can drive, a leader who can inspire, a leader who can empower people. Luckily, I can say I found my ikigai, right, of becoming a trainer and really doing what I really love to do. But what inspired me to get into leadership coaching particularly was that
Your work and career is the number one indicator of your progress and success and where you stand in your life. It is not only the thing you do to earn money, provide for yourself and your family, build a good life and a great future, but it is also the thing where you spend the most of your time. And depending on how you approach it, it could be a great source of happiness, fulfillment, a sense of purpose, and how you're adding value to this world. And whether you agree or no, your work and your career will affect who you are and how you see yourself. And today we are talking about your career on this episode of the School of Men, a talk show of the men for the men, where we bring on experts, achievers, and people with inspiring stories to share their knowledge, experience, and wisdom, which can help you and me become better men and excel in all areas of our life. And our today's guest is one of the best persons to talk to about career. Swati Arora, a friend of mine, she is into leadership and career coaching, and she runs a community where she helps mid-career professionals to elevate their career and coach them in leadership. She runs this community called as Action Takers Hub, and she is one of the best persons to do this job because of her illustrious career of 24 years in the corporate sector. She started her career at a very young age of 16 years old, and after spending some time into the sales sector, she shifted to training and coaching. And she is currently the head of leadership development at Tech Mahindra Limited. She is a very ambitious and driven person, and she had a very, very fast career growth up the corporate ladder. In one of her previous jobs, she got 8 promotions in a short span of 7.5 years. And over her long career of training and coaching, she has touched over 10,000 professionals and helped them with career development and leadership excellence. And before I put Swati in front of you, allow me to take a little bit of your time to introduce myself. I'm Adarsh Desai, the host of this podcast and the founder of Stronger Men Club. I'm on a mission to help men break out of average, become physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually stronger, and fulfill their fullest potential in all areas of their life. And if you're a first time visitor to this channel and you found value in this episode, please consider subscribing to this channel and becoming part of my mission. And also do share this channel with other men in your life, your family members, your brothers, and your colleagues. This will help me further my mission. And now let's talk to Swati and find how you can elevate and find greater success in your career. Hey Swati, welcome to the School of Men. Finally, we are here. You made it.
hi Adarsh, thank you so much for having me here, and apologies for the delay.
Yeah, that's fine. Totally fine. It's my pleasure that you could find time and you're finally here. Swati, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us about your what you do currently and a little bit about your background.
Okay, thank you, Adarsh. So I'm Swati Arora. Obviously, as you know, my tagline in my social media is "Mind Code Swati." That's my handle across all social media platforms. Corporate experience. Technically, I have 24 years experience in training and leadership development. This is the 25th year running right now, and currently I'm working with Tech Mahindra Limited as head of leadership development. That's my professional career. Apart from that, I'm also a leadership and career coach. I have my own practice, I have my own business running, and I have a community of about 200, 250 odd people right now where I'm helping mid career professionals elevate in their career journey. And yeah, and apart from that, I'm also a content creator, YouTuber, podcaster. I have also written my own book, which is called Life Happens in the Gray, and in the journey of another book writing right now.
So the first time I saw you, it was I think about 1.5 years we met for the first time. I would have
Yes.
never imagined that you have 24 years of experience, and um, you also have a daughter who is already 18 years old. It's amazing that
Yeah.
um, it's surprising to know that. And
Yeah,
um,
she's 21 now actually, and she's
21, yeah.
just
The last time,
yeah.
last time I came to
This
know
time we
about it,
met,
it
she was,
was,
yeah, yeah,
or
correct,
maybe
correct,
I
correct.
saw some of your content, and she was
Hmm,
18 that time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
How did you land here? A little bit about your journey, how you started, and
Hmm.
how you, climbed up the ladder, and you're in the, top of the uh, corporate ladder. So, little bit about your journey. I know it already. It's really inspiring, but for the sake of our listeners, they ought to know.
Sure. Thank you, Adarsh. And I think, yeah, the journey has been super exciting, a roller coaster, I would say. Um, Not too many women you see generally at this level, right? At the leadership levels, and particularly the level I'm right now. So I take an immense pride and happiness to share, obviously, with a lot of people. 24 years, I started very early in my life, actually. I started when I was only 16 years old. I started working alongside after my 12th standard, alongside my studies, I started working. And then I moved to Delhi, where I actually started after my, graduation. I started working in a corporate company. It was Standard Chartered Bank at that point in time. I started my sales career there, and yeah, I was very ambitious, obviously, but we all know the corporate rigmarole is like that. It doesn't allow you to just be yourself. You have to tailor make yourself as per the environment, which I did. In sales, I could see myself growing. I went up to the manager position as well, but then I moved to an international contact center. That time my daughter was born in 2003. So after she was born, she was 5 months old, and I joined an international call center, which was Infovision earlier. Today it's known as, famously known as Circo. That there is where I began my trainer journey, the journey which I'm very very happy, and luckily I can say I found my ikigai right, of becoming a trainer and really doing what I really love to do. So I became a trainer in Infovision, and I moved up the ladder. In that company, I worked for the longest, so in my career span. In Circo, I worked for 7.5 years, and I saw 8 promotions in 7.5 years. Every year, I
Wow.
was growing from trainer to assistant manager, and so on and so forth. I left that company in 2010 October, as a general manager training. Yes, and after that also, I've been working. I started my own business also, as a parallel stint along with my husband. That was into life insurance. We did that for about 4.5 years. It's still going on, but we had to shut shop with respect to the business per se. But I moved on to my corporate career again. So yeah, that's how it's been. I've been handling large teams. I've been handling the training department. I'm very passionate about training, and that's why I learned a lot about training. I got certified in a lot of courses, and I moved up the ladder. And yeah, recently I was working in Tech Mahindra earlier as well. My last stint in Tech Mahindra was for 5 years, from 2017 to 2021. And I was called back again. I moved out of Tech Mahindra to take on another position, but I was called back again after 1.5 years. My good fortune, I can say. So I'm now the head of leadership development. What I love doing, I love developing people. I love grooming people. I love to talk about leadership. That's what I do all the time. I love to talk about leadership and learn more about human psychology. That's why I done a lot of my courses on NLP and ICF certification and hypnotherapy and EI and all of those things. But yeah, the journey has been really exciting. The journey has been, I would not say tiring. I would not say that. I could go on and on till the last day of my life, because I love training, because I love people, I love being around people, and I love knowing people, this human psychology part of it. So I think the more and more I do my job and my career coaching, it is just giving me every single day. I'm getting to know people much better than what I knew earlier. So I'm just enjoying that.
Well, that's a
That's been
long list of achievements. I'm going to have a tough time coming up with the intro, short enough to cover all that and also give a good picture about you. Well, Swati, what has driven you? Like, there are a lot of women I know, they struggle in corporate life. Okay.
Mhm.
And not only women, men also struggle. What
Mhm.
has
Yeah.
been your driving force behind all your achievements and, your relentless pursuit of progress?
So I might sound modest if I say that I never wanted to. I was not looking for the next level or something like that. See, one of the things that I see, and maybe now I know the definition. Earlier on, I didn't know the definition. Thanks to my trainers and coaches and mentors, now I know what it's called, right? So the pursuit of learning, the hunger to learn, right? That's something which has been there in me. Probably the driving factor or the motivation, whatever you may say, the lifelong learning attitude. Earlier on, I didn't spend too much in certifications because I didn't have that much money and it was not allowed uh, from the home front. But I invested a lot in learning from my company's courses, from my mentors, getting groomed under them. I've been very, very fortunate to have some very strong leaders and strong mentors in my life who really shaped me who I am, right? And like I said, the hunger to learn, curiosity to learn, ये कैसे होता है, how can that be done, and things like that, and asking stupid questions. So yeah, I think that has been the driving factor for me. And now I'm investing in my certification and stuff, but earlier on I used to just be curious to learn from people, learn from my heads of the departments, and learn from people, and things like that. So I think the hunger has not gone. So what I see in today's corporate world is, and we have to teach people the hunger aspect, or the learnability aspect, or the learning agility aspect. I think my only USP has been that I have been hungry to learn. Every person, every individual that I meet, I try to know what he or she is doing, what I can learn from that person. If someone is very good at AI, I would love to learn that. If someone's good in Excel, one of the things, and I would like to share, I was very bad in Excel back in the day, but I was very good in math. As a child, I was very good in math, and I used to hate that, how my seniors, how my managers would, without using the mouse, they would work on Excel and they would prepare such amazing reports. And so I was so intrigued with that concept only, and I was like, I really want to do this. Although my job didn't involve that, because I was into training, so not too much of Excel required, basic reports. But then I sat down with the MIS manager, the WFM manager, workforce management, right? I sat down with him. I learned some very good formulae of Excel, and I really wanted. I tried my hands onto that so much so that the operations head said, "You should be in sales, Swati. The reports and stuff, the analysis and stuff is so good." So yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Everything that is it looks fascinating. I want to learn that, and I want to adapt that and implement it in my environment. Probably that's the only driving factor, I would say.
It's very humble of you that you took all the names of your mentors, your seniors, and also the people you meet. That's a great attitude and mindset to have, and something which I learned very late in my life. I would say that you can be anything or anything you want, regardless of where you are, just by being curious and have this hunger to learn and become better and see progress in yourself in any way
True.
possible. It doesn't matter what you learn. If you just start learning something, start improving in some area of your life, it will overflow in every other area of your life. That is what I feel. Great,
Absolutely.
Swati. So you are already very accomplished. I'm pretty sure you're making good money. You have a family to take care of. You have a very responsible job with a lot of responsibilities, but still you're doing something on the side, that is this leadership and career coaching. What
Mhm.
inspired you to take this step, and um, what is the reason behind this?
What inspired me to take this decision of coaching? Coaching is something which I was doing for a long time, right? And as a part of training as I was growing up, in the ladder, becoming a manager. So intuitively it comes, when you are that empathetic manager, and when you want other people under your team, in your team, to grow and to groom, so you'll groom
Mm.
them. We did not know what it was called earlier, like I said, we were just empowering people, we were just training people. I didn't know that subconsciously I was actually coaching and mentoring a lot of my people. um, Happy to learn that techniques now. Right now that I've learned NLP coaching and ICF coaching, I know that, okay, this is what it used to be, what I used to do, but now I know the theory and the concepts behind it. But what inspired me to get into leadership coaching particularly was that, whenever I used to speak to people, and I was trying to figure out my niche at that point in time. Okay. And niche is, just to for everyone's information, or to give, not to use cliche words. Niche is basically what is your subject matter expertise, right? I mean, there are many coaches in the industry, but what do you want to be called? Like they say, you don't want to be only a general physician, right? You want to be an ENT specialist, or you want to be a cardiologist, or you want to be a entrepreneurologist, whatever. So at that time I was trying to figure out, this is pre-pandemic era, where I was doing a lot of coaching. I was helping a lot of people one to one. I was trying to set up my business, but I was doing a lot of coaching, and I was doing like relationship coaching, I was doing parent teacher coaching, parent and child coaching, and I was doing business coaching as well. I helped some entrepreneurs set up their business as well. While I was successful in that, but I was not enjoying it, because I was not understanding that, what am I really good at, what is my, like, every time I was
What
learning new things. Yeah.
what is your forte, so to say?
What is my forte exactly, what's my
Yeah.
forte? I was not able to understand that. And that's when
Mhm.
I was going to meet a lot of people. I was going for these webinars and conferences, and um, you know and when I talked about my story to people, and when I said that, I am so and so in XYZ company, I'm a head of a department and stuff, people used to look at me with awe. I mean, and I was like, why is it that they used to say that, no, you have so much, 20 years experience, 22 years experience, I mean, talking about 2 3 years back, right? So, and how is it possible? Why, how have you gone, like what you just asked me, how have you grown up the ladder? And I thought, why is it so different? Because it's normal, like, you when you age in your career, you just grow up, right? But I felt, then I kind of did my research, and I realized, and that, especially women in the leadership rank in our country, or rather globally also, we don't have many women at leadership positions. That was one of my biggest driving factor to take up leadership coaching. While and initially I also tagged myself as a woman career coach. Sometime back I had done that, but again, I also realized that, why only women? Because leadership is a skill which everyone needs to learn, right? And everyone needs to. Anyone can become a manager. People can become managers, people can become senior managers, people can become VP. But how do you become a leader? A leader who can drive, a leader who can inspire, a leader who can empower people. And I still see a lot of people who are tagged with those designations, but they have no clue about how to inspire people. So every time I used to meet people, they used to be talking about, and my team members used to talk about how great. I'm not again harping my, I hope I'm not harping about myself. But yeah, they used to, I could see some remarkable difference with my team members as well. So I thought, let's take this up as a niche or a forte, that, whatever I've learned in the leadership journey, let me be a leadership coach and help people grow up the ladder, help people reach their desired aspirational positions, alongside being good leaders as well, so that, we are creating a value chain of leaders, and not just growing up the career. So yeah, I think that is what got me into this leadership coaching.
One thing, you can harp all you want about yourself. That is why you're here. That is why I have called you. Yeah. So I wish I had few good leaders when I was in the corporate. Like, I have really felt this when managers are only acting as managers and only thinking about getting their work done, getting somehow um, get the work done, then it affects everybody who is working under them. And
Absolutely.
I think it's something which is missing in our country, especially. I don't know
Mhm.
about the outside, but
Mhm.
this is what I have felt in my uh, 10 years of corporate career. So
Absolutely.
How does this leadership or career coaching look like, and what can people expect when they get into some training or coaching like this?
Interesting. So when I talk about career, so there are two aspects to it, right? So when one is a career coaching, which is a, helping people to elevate from wherever, whatever level they are. So this community that I have, that I've formed in the last 1 year now, we call it Action Takers Hub. Okay, it's all about taking action, right? The phenomena that I've followed all my life is just take action. Don't worry what's the result going to be. So yeah, I think I've kind of directly correlated that to my community. So the first leg of the community, or the first level of the community, is where I help people in whatever journey they are, mid-career professionals, like I said, not at the entry levels, because I want them to experience the corporate life. I want them to see how do we go through the grind, and and at a level where they are probably 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, to 20, 25 years as well. So I have in my community people ranging from 5 years experience to 25, 30 years experience as well. Yesterday, there is a gentleman who joined us. He's a director of in a company, and he has 32 years experience, right? So he's also joined us in our community. So career coaching, the first leg of the concept, the coaching, is that I help people at whatever stage you are in your career, how to polish yourself and how to elevate from that stage to the next level. It is purely individualistic, like, in their own area, how do they become better, how do they upskill themselves, what competencies do they need to work upon in themselves, and there are many competencies, right, when you're exhibiting in your corporate environment. So that's the coaching part of it. Then the
Yeah.
leadership part of it, the leadership coaching, is where I work individually with people, or in my diamond community, in one-to-one capacity, or in my group coaching. It's a smaller group area, which is a diamond community, where I help people up, build up their leadership competencies. And the leadership competencies could be anything. It's not, again, they're, while they're working on themselves, but they're also building up that leadership competency and making life easier for them, like what you said, not becoming a leader who just wants to get work done, but when you become a leader who inspires people, who motivates people, who delegates, who empowers, what's happening is, you're not only making your life easier, to be very honest, because you don't have to run around with the stick in the hand, good, get your job done. You're actually getting your job done in a very easy, empathetic way, in a very organic way. Plus you're also making your people happy. Plus you're also making them learn, they making them grow, right? So that is the leadership coaching component that I'm doing in my one-to-one, or my niche community, I would say. That's how it looks like.
Yeah. So, from where you stand, or from the expansive experience you have, what do you think are the main problems professional are facing? That, let's say, mid-career professionals currently, what are the problems they are facing?
Um, there are a range of problems mid-career professionals have, right? As you said, managers being the biggest problem. Like when I ask in my webinar, what is the big problem that that challenge that people are facing, a lot of people blatantly say corporate politics, toxic manager, right? All of that. But I'll not touch upon that, because that's something which is a danger zone to go into. But yeah, that's also one of the reasons. The other reason is stagnancy, I think, which articulates into stagnancy. It could be multiple reasons. It could be toxic environment. It could be you have not upskilled yourself. So stagnancy in the career is one of the biggest challenges people are facing. I can see people, like I said, I, I have grown up the ladder. Every year I was seeing a promotion happening. And even after I left Circo, in other companies also, every 1.5 years, I was seeing a promotion happening. Every 1.5, 2 years, maximum alternate year, I would see a promotion happening. But when I look at the world outside, and I'm again not harping about myself, but when I look at people, 70 to 80% of people do not get promoted every alternate year or third year as well. They are
Yeah,
stuck in that
yeah.
position for good 5, 7, 10 years as well. So when I ask this question to people, since how many years have you been a manager? Imagine 12 years he's been a manager. Imagine what's happening to his mental capability, his or her, whatever. Yeah, what is the confidence level? You've been doing the same shit over and over and over and over again for 12 years. It's like and that's why they say, right, midlife crisis. How does it articulate into midlife crisis? That's another challenge, by the way. but how does it actually articulate into that? Because you've been doing the same thing every day. If you have dal chawal, what's going to happen? You're going to get rid of dal chawal, right? You're going to be like, my life is nothing but this. So this is exactly what's happening. Stagnancy is one of the biggest reasons why, biggest challenges for career professionals, and which is a reason of multiple things. It could be upskilling not done. Another challenge is not having visibility. People, they're working in silos, they're doing a good job, people are uh, doing great at their job, but not being able to showcase, not being able to visualize their performance, and I don't blame them. We come from an era where our ancestors, our parents, our siblings, our teachers, everyone told us, don't blow your own trumpet, keep doing your work, don't talk about what good you do, like it's like, don't keep trumpeting about yourself. That's why I'm again and again asking you, am I harping about myself? Because I've organically done that all my life. But a lot
Yeah.
of people, it doesn't come out naturally. They can't talk about what they do. They can't showcase what they do. They can't visualize. They can't speak for themselves. And then what happens? There are some unscrupulous bunch of fools in the companies who then nicely take credit of your work. Right. And that's why people are stuck at those positions, and people who are undeserving also move up to senior positions sometimes. Yeah, so that's, I think those two are the major reasons, major challenges that I feel, which a lot of mid-career professionals or a lot of professionals are facing in their career right now.
Let me tell you, you're talking to my, my younger self. I was like this. I felt I was stagnating. I worked in automobile design for almost 1 decade, and like you
Mm-hmm.
said, I was doing the same stuff for 10 years. Same stuff. I was earning well. I was earning good money. I was living in Germany, in a developed country with all the facilities. I could have been a permanent citizen there, not a citizen, permanent resident. But I was not happy from inside because I was doing the same stuff again and again and again. Okay, for 10 years. Okay, that is I can totally relate to that. And also the second issue you said, that I couldn't showcase myself. I did not have this confidence to harp my own horn. Okay, my own horn. That was also there. Like, and there are people, like you said, some people, they don't take credit from you, but for everything they do, they demand something back, right? They
Mm-hmm.
demand a promotion, they demand a on-site opportunity, they demand everything, right? And what I experienced is, I was someone who, in my right conscience, did the work, did the job well. Okay, I think I did better job than most people, but I did not get anything in return because it was easy to get work from me. And everything, the corporate politics boils down to this, that you have to get the work done by hook or
Correct.
crook, by using rewards or something. And someone who is already working, someone who is not at, not a pain, uh, nobody, cares about you,
Correct.
right? And
Correct.
people who cause a lot of trouble, who have to be, coaxed into doing work, they'll get all the benefits, they'll take all the benefits. This is what I experienced in my career, right? So what is the solution? How can people who feel they are stagnating in their career, and also, let's talk about stagnating in their career, what they can do if they feel they are stagnating? What are the steps they can take?
Yeah, I think one of the things, interesting thing that you said, that people who don't say anything don't get anything. My one of my mentors says this standard statement: the crying baby is the only one who gets the milk. You know, so while it may sound very funny, while it may sound like, I'm asking people to cry, I'm not asking people to become a crybaby, but you have to learn to stand up for yourself. The assertive attitude, the assertiveness, right? If you are good, you're good, and the world needs to know it. We are not in that era. We are not emotionally, there are not emotionally strong, intelligent people out there who would say that, who would know what's going on in your mind, right? I mean, we are coaches, we can understand. We speak to someone, we know what's, again, coaches also don't understand. I'm just saying, but there are not too many people who are, like they say, my boss should understand me, or forget about boss, my wife should understand me, my husband should understand me. It doesn't happen, right? You have to communicate, you have to articulate what you want. Simple is what I would say. The first thing is, don't presume that people will know what you want. uh, tell them what you want, communicate it in multiple ways, show it to your in your actions obviously, but communicate what you want, because then at least you've done your job. So I have had that funda in my life. I have never demanded, I have not said that if you don't give me this promotion I'll leave, right? I'll go and join some other company, or I've not threatened people, but I've been very clear. I've articulated what I want in the first go itself, and I'll say I'll work on this particular goal because I want that goal, and you tell me as my manager, you tell me as my leader what I need to do to be able to get that. So I have this very bad habit, or good habit you may say. Every time I join a company, even this company that I joined, right, my current manager, he asked me, my current leader, I mean, he's at a very senior position, global head, right? He asked me, where do you see yourself? A typical HR question, right? Where do you see yourself after 5 years or after 2 years? I said, I see myself in your chair. I told him that, right?
Yeah.
And he laughed out. He was like, wonderful. Yeah, you could be here. Why not? I said, you tell me, you guide me, you give me the direction. How do I need to be there? And it's not just that moment in the interview that I said that, but yeah, even after that, when I joined and when I take feedback from him every time, I am working towards getting there, the next level. That's how you get to the next level. When you tell your manager, when you tell your mentor or your leader that you want to be there, and I don't think any leader. See, I've been a leader myself, right? If I'm a strong leader, if I know my capabilities, I should not be insecure of a person telling me I want to be at your seat. Why?
Yeah.
And that also talks about a very good quality of my leader right now, when he's laughing it out, which means that he's not insecure. Otherwise, you know what? When someone says that, they would not hire me. They'll be like, she's going to take my chair. Let's take. And that's what also people do. A lot of leaders I've seen that doing. So when I say, when I'm talking about, I'm not going into the leader's position right now, but from an employee perspective, from a stagnancy perspective, if I ask, the first thing that I would say is, ask and you shall receive. Want, have a very clear articulation what you want, right? And tell your leader, mentor, manager, whoever it is, that this is my career path, this is where I want to be, you guide me, I will do the actions. So that's the first part of it, which is communicating, articulating, explaining your requirements. Otherwise they will not understand. Don't presume that people understand where you want to be. You have to tell them. Okay, the second is on working on yourself. That's very, very important. I mean, a lot of people say banna hai humko kuch, I want to become there, I want to go there, but you're not ready to do anything yourself. You're not ready to invest in your own education. You're not ready to invest in your own upskilling time. Give excuses like, I don't have time, I don't have money to upskill myself, I don't have the knowledge to upskill myself, whatever, or I'm too old, or I'm too young. You can hear all those types of excuses when you talk to people, right? But I'm saying, if
Yeah.
you really want it, work on it, invest. There is time. If this is your goal, if I want to become a multimillionaire, you have to invest in yourself today. There was this gentleman who came to me, and I still remember, and he said, I want to become a millionaire in 10 years. I said, wonderful, you can. He's like, how can I become that? You please tell me. I said, you join my community, you invest in the community, you join, you go through the learnings, only then you will come to know, right? I'm there to help you, but you have to invest time, energy, money, your consciousness, so to be able to do that. I'm yeah, that's the blatant truth. Nothing happens without any effort. So yeah, I think my two pronged approach would be that: ask, tell what you want, and the other is
Mm.
work on yourself. Keep upskilling yourself. Keep growing. And no upskilling is going to downgrade you. No learning is ever going to, like what you said, right? No learning will downgrade you. Learning is only
Yeah.
going to propel whatever you learn. Today I learn some new AI hacks. It's going to help me somewhere. Today I learned from my son. The other day he got a VR headset, and I was learning from him how he's interested in doing things on VR headset, and he's doing. And you know what? Astonishingly, the next thing I know is I went to Pune, and we have a makers lab there, and there was something in the VR machine that they were doing, and I knew that, and people were amazed to see that I know it, while I'm not a technical person. But so what I'm trying to say is, no learning will demean you. So keep learning, and keep growing yourself is what I would say. Those two things. Yeah.
I have to summarize it. If you don't ask, the answer is always a no, right? That is one thing. And second thing is, don't be entitled. Like, you are not entitled to anything if you don't put in the
Absolutely.
effort, if you don't learn, if you don't um, uh, show that you are ready to learn and grow. It will not happen. right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very,
So
very well articulated.
yeah. So if you want to give some practical tips, how someone can start doing this, basic tactically, how someone can do both of these things, like to express what they want and where they want to go, and also to start learning something which can be meaningful to their career.
Practically, if I say the first part of it, what you want is learn and become more assertive. Work on your
Because let
communication.
sorry to
Yeah.
cut you off here,
Yeah.
because when you say where do you see in 5 years, you really don't know. This is a very very
Mm,
vague question.
mm,
You
mm,
you really don't know, and
mm,
this question has been it's a very this question never dies. Everybody gets
mm,
this question one point of time, right?
mm,
Where do you
mm.
want to be in the 5 years? But a lot of people, especially people who are in the early stage of their career, they don't really know where their the career will take them, right? So that is why. So it will be great if you can give some pointers here also.
Yeah, so I beg to differ on that point, to be very honest. Because you don't get there because you don't know what you want, right? I'll give you a very recent example. I was watching this movie. I don't remember the name of the movie where Dr. Abdul Kalam Azad, right? He went into a students' council and he met some students and he said it's a real life story. And he met some students and he met and he was asking, what do you want to become? What do you want to become? The same question, what do you want to become after 5 years? Where do you see yourself after 5 years? He also asked a very simple normal question. And children were getting up, though those were, I think, engineering students or graduate undergrad students or whatever. They were getting up and saying, I want to become a good leader, I want to become an entrepreneur, I want to become this, I want to become that. In the crowd there was a blind guy, a person who was disabled, physically disabled. He got up and he said, I want to become the first disabled or blind president of India.
You're
The
talking about movie Shrikant.
Oh yes, yes. I'm
Yeah,
talking. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm talking about movie Shrikant. Yes, and that's a real. And I read about it after
Real story.
seeing the movie. It's a real life story, right? So what I'm trying to say is the goal. And I'm a very, very, very pro goal person. I can not talk less about it. So when you know what you want, and the day when you want it, and the date when you want it, if you leave your career as to, okay, let me see where my career takes me, it's never going to happen. It's like, it's like setting your getting up in the morning and saying, okay, let's go out in the world and see where the world takes me. It's like that. Why do you get up and make a list of things that you want to do? Why do you make that to-do list? Why do you have that goal for every single day? Because you want to achieve, by the end of the day, you want to achieve these 4 or 5 concrete things, right? So similarly, at the end of your journey, whether, I know it's difficult for a young professional, maybe a 20-year-old or a 25-year-old, to write down or to articulate what I will be in 5 years time. But 1 year, keep a milestone for yourself. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And that's when you work on the reverse clock, right? So keep a very clear goal. And that's exactly when I said that, when you articulate what you want is only when you know what you want. A lot of
Mm.
people don't know. See, I still hear a lot of people go for interviews, job interviews, and the typical question that the interviewer asks is, what is your salary that you're expecting? And people are dumbstruck, and they're tongue tied because they don't know whatever the company is offering or whatever is market standard. No, please be vocal and say, this is what I want. I want a 50% raise, I want a 40% raise, or whatever your math that you've done, or this is the number that I'm looking for. Because that is the vision, that is the goal that you have. Otherwise people will decide for you. If you really want to know where you want to go, you need to have that path or that goal very, very clear. I think that's the first thing. And like I said, and the other is, when you want to learn to become, to say, a lot of people, again, it comes easier to me because probably I've practiced that a lot, but I know a lot of people can't say that, right? So the element of practicing your assertiveness, element of talking in meetings. I still see a lot of people not talking in meetings, being silent, and a lot of managers, they ask us to train people on how to talk in meetings. It's not that this person doesn't know how to talk in meetings. He will go outside, or she will go outside, and in the canteen they would be talking, yapping completely, right, with their friends and with their colleagues and stuff. But what happens in that meeting? Why are you so scared? What's going to happen? The world is not going to end if you speak something. But that's how people will know who you are, the visibility factor. You
Mm.
can't be, it's called executive presence, showing every meeting, in every session, in every conference, in every summit, wherever you're going, in every boardroom, right? You have to speak. You, if you have an idea, speak. It's okay. It could be a bad idea, and that's what people say. No idea is a bad idea, right? I mean, successful people never say that. They will always take ideas from me, because you at least have that opinion. You at least have that thought process. So I think these two things, having a very clear goal and putting it down on paper, and kind of following that, pursuing that, because if you don't have that goal, then people will work on your goal, people will work on your life, right? That's one. And the second is learning to become more clear in your communication. And I would say, start small. Start small, which means, okay, I understand you can't speak in front of your managers, but start speaking to random strangers in your office itself, interdepartment, right? Go and talk to interdepartment, maybe your peers. You're very comfortable with your own friends, but in your peer group, maybe a different department altogether, can you start your communication loop with them? Slowly, gradually, then you start speaking in front of your managers. Slowly, gradually, you start speaking in front of your clients. Slowly, gradually, you start speaking in front of your senior leaders. But you need to talk. You can't be, like I said earlier, again, you can't presume that they will understand you, and they should know you. So I think those two things is very, very important with respect to practical tips. There may be many, but yeah, these things come to my mind right now.
One thing I could say is I could also go back in time and think about this is a lot of people are afraid of talking. Okay.
Hmm.
And some people they talk when we are talking about work or something like that, but they don't want to kind of they don't want to piss off the manager. They are kind of
Hmm.
afraid. Maybe
Hmm.
they'll start feeling like they'll be targeted or they'll be thrown out of the job, because nowadays anyways, like the job market is like it's like you are a commodity in the job market nowadays. There are
Correct.
10 more people to take your job. There is always
Correct.
this fear associated, like you will lose your job, or maybe you'll be targeted, you'll not go through normal progression also. That kind of fear I think a lot of people have. And how can someone deal with this, and is there anything else why someone will not speak up? What are the other issues? What do you see from your side?
Fear, you rightly pointed out, I think, but fear is, again, multi-pronged. It's, where is this fear coming from? When I say that, if I say something, I'm not saying go and fight with your manager. Talking is not that, right? Or not negating. Like, for example, right now I just said something, right? I beg to differ in a very subtle way, and you wouldn't have taken it wrong. You wouldn't have taken it in the other way, right? Because there's a valid logical reasoning that I'm giving to you. Similarly, when you're talking to your manager as well, I'm not saying that differ on everything. It's just about being, okay. I'll come to the first point. The fear is coming from where? From a space of insecurity. Someone will chuck you out, or you feel someone will chuck you out because you are insecure. So first, work on that insecurity. What is it? Okay, if you can't be vocal, what is it that you can make sure that you can safeguard your position wherever you are? And people, I
Mhm.
know people are, there is a lot of layoff happening right now, and a lot of people are being thrown out, but there is no personal vendetta or something, or it's not like people will just throw out because you said something to me. I mean, there are organizations and there are policies, right? We can't say that today I said something to my manager and he'll chuck me out. There is an HR sitting out there, there's a ombudsman sitting out there, there is an entire committee sitting out there, right? So you can't say that. There is a lot of obviously a particular protocol that people will follow before just taking you out. But yes, what I'm trying to say is, you need to make sure that you first safeguard your insecurity when you know that I am not doing probably the 100% that I'm supposed to do in my job, and there are, out of these 10 people, I'm probably ranking in the lowest, and that's why I'm not when I make myself, and again, that boils down to upskilling myself, or doing my job better, or learning to do better, etc. When you are doing it just as a tick mark activity, when you're just going to the work and you're doing your normal 6 hours, 7 hours, etc., you're not the top of the rank. See, one of the things I know, and you will agree with me, Adarsh, the top of the rank student, or the top of the rank employee, or the top of the rank performer will never be chucked out. Correct? No company will do that, right? The highest salesperson will never be chucked out. Correct?
Definitely.
On he has that liberty, or he or she has that liberty, or he or she has that authority, because they have developed that trust in the manager's point of view, that yes, this person, he knows what he's doing, and if he gives an opinion also, it'll be acknowledged. So first, build yourself up to the level. I'm not saying everyone will be up of the rank, but are you even there? That's the first level of insecurity that comes up. Feeling is fearful. Fear is coming from an insecure space. That is one. The other is, again, once you are coming up that level where you are, reaching out that point that I'm becoming a performer, I'm coming in the attention of my managers or my management, etc. People are now noticing me. Then you can start building your rapport. Build your rapport with your seniors, build your rapport with your colleagues. And how do you, and just have small talk, go out on lunches with people. Just don't be within yourself. Just don't. I've seen a lot of people, and these typically the people that we are talking about right now, who are very fearful, etc., they will be aloof. They'll be only within themselves. They will not mingle around, they'll not socialize, they'll not talk to other people, they'll be very much reserved, right? So see, the world is all about it's all about showcasing again, right? It's all about being there, how sociable you are, how much people know you, how you can connect with other people. And then there is a way to saying everything. There are people who are, I've seen, blatantly, who will say things on your face. Obviously it's not a good thing. So you have to be emotionally aware of what's happening in your surrounding as well, and how you're dealing with people. So yeah, I think that's what I would say to such people, that don't be fearful. Work on your fears. Where is that fear coming from? Figure out and work on your fears, and there is a space out there to help you.
One thing I want to point out is I was this kind of person when I was working in the corporate. I was not I was not sociable and nothing like that. I was mingling with people, I was talking to them, but when it comes to asking for the rewards, asking for you know better treatment, I would shy away. Okay, and
Hmm.
I'm someone who has always been a shy, introverted person with low self-esteem, low self-respect. And one thing you said, which is very, very important here and is valuable, is you have to um, you have to work on yourself. Like, if you make yourself indispensable, then nobody can hurt you. Like, I always
Exactly.
had this, I never fulfilled my fullest potential in anything I did. Okay. uh,
Hmm.
so that also comes down to, you have yourself, if you have enough self belief in yourself. Okay, and it all comes down to personal transformation and personal improvement, right?
Absolutely,
And one thing,
absolutely.
when you were saying the top performers will never be chucked out, how someone can be a top performer is to make your boss's life easy,
Hmm.
right? This is something, when I heard this, it was a bulb on for me. Someone will keep you because you're making their life easy, or someone will
Okay.
promote you because you're ready to take that initiative. You are ready to do the work your senior will do, and you have shown that capability by already doing it, with your own initiative, without someone telling you to do something. That will be the
Hmm.
worst thing to do. If everything you do has to be monitored by someone, has to be given
Hmm.
by someone, then you become like a commodity. Someone else can do your job, right? So I think that is how someone can become, make themselves more valuable, like making your boss's job easy, doing stuff which he wouldn't tell you, but would appreciate that, okay, you've done this and it has helped me. And and you become someone your boss can rely upon, trust upon,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, great.
I
But
just I
then,
just like to add one point here. Sorry,
yeah,
you want to
yeah,
complete
yeah,
the
please, please,
statement?
please. I
So
was
this
moving
is
on to the next
really
question. You can add your point.
okay. Okay. Now this is really, I'd like to add to this. This is really a very interesting conversation, and from a boss's perspective. And I'm happy that we're talking now from a boss's perspective also, because we need to understand that what a boss really wants, right? What the leader really wants, or your manager. Because it's very easy to say that my manager doesn't like me, or I can be removed, I can be chucked out, etc. That's the fear element, right? But now if I talk from a boss's perspective, and the point that you mentioned, very much bang on it. I have always looked at, whenever I've promoted a person, okay, I've always looked at the intent part of it, the intention, right? They say the skill versus the will, the skill issue versus the will. So person with a skill, I will never promote that person if he has a will issue, which means what? Again, like you said, who is not taking initiative, who's not showing up, who's not taking ownership, who's not who's a problem child. Basically, he has the skill, everyone has the skill, that's why they are hired, that's why they're there, right? But are you showing that intention to your manager that, I'm ready to take on more, I'm ready to do extra task, I'm ready to go that extra mile with you, you can rely on me, you can trust on me. I will give more work to that person and I will promote that person because he's making my life easier, right? And I know that, okay, if I give him two other tasks also, he or she will do it. But if there's a person who says 6 o'clock, boss, pack your bag and go, no matter how skilled you are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how qualified you are, I will not trust you with the next position, right? Or I will not trust you with giving you something that maybe, delegation, for example, right? I will not delegate anything to you. And then you will complain and you will whine and say, my manager doesn't look at me, because you have not given that opportunity for them to look at you. You have not made your boss's life easier. I think I just wanted to add that point, very important point that you mentioned. To survive in the corporate jungle, you need to make your boss's life easier. Yeah, the more you do that, the better it is for you, because you're also learning and you're also growing in the meanwhile. Yeah,
That is the bare minimum someone needs to do this, but there are also people who take advantage of you. Like there are bad bosses. Okay.
correct.
So I want to ask two questions pertaining to this. One is uh, how to stay humble while asking for self promotion, raise, or anything in return. Okay, asking for rewards in return. How can someone balance out that? And what should someone do if if they don't get what they truly deserve?
So the first point is, how can we stay humble, right? While you're asking
Yeah.
for, you're demanding or whatever. Again, the entitlement part comes, right? There are a whole lot of people I've also seen around that, they feel that they're entitled souls and they are God's gift to humankind, and whatever they want, they should get it. But I think, which makes them very rigid in their mind, which makes them a very fixed mindset person, right? So the first and foremost thing, and I believe in this, is feedback, seeking feedback, right? And genuinely seeking feedback and genuinely working on that feedback. So, see, we all have blind spots. I may call myself the best person, best employee. I may call myself very good. I may say that, the company will lose if they lose me, and the company will be in pieces, etc. But it doesn't happen like that. Work goes on, right? So, but there must be something in me which is missing, which is why I'm not getting to the next level, which is why I'm not getting what I deserve, right? So, have I really taken? So, whenever someone comes to me and they ask me, I've done everything, Swati, that I want to do, but my manager doesn't promote me. I said, everything means what? Please tell me. When was the last time you took feedback from the person, from your team members, from your manager, from your peers, from your manager's manager? When did you take feedback? That is going to help you know your blind spots, know. And it could be, and feedback, by the way, is not only for performance, it could be for anything. Like I said, your feedback could be, one of the feedback that I used to get a lot is that you're too people friendly and not business friendly. Like, I used to get overflown by, because I'm an empathetic leader, so I used to get that thing that, you just worry about your people should not do too much, and you'll go and fight with the business leaders that, it's coming on to my team, etc. So, but yeah, I realize that, while I'm doing that, I'm actually, not empowering my people, because when I go back and fight for my people, with the management, what I'm doing, I'm not getting them to utilize their full potential, right? So that's a feedback. But I did not know that till the time I got the feedback, till the time I demanded that feedback. So I think a regular feedback repertoire is very, very important. In most companies, it doesn't happen. We all know that in most companies, the review or the feedback happens once a year, which is more like a tick mark activity, which is more like HR monitored. Have you done the appraisal form, etc. And that also sometimes it doesn't happen. Your manager never gives you feedback. But I genuinely believe that we should demand feedback. We should solicit feedback. Sorry, not demand, wrong word. We should solicit feedback. And a 360-degree feedback. Even if your company has that policy of giving you your satisfaction rating, etc. But when you take feedback from people, I take feedback from, how am I behaving with my team members, do you like my working style, am I too aggressive, am I too lenient, whatever, take feedback from my manager, what else should I do to improve, what should I stop doing, what should I start doing, that three pronged approach. And when I work, when I also take feedback from my stakeholders, which is my customers, maybe my clients or whatever, that am I delivering to the requirements. So when you take feedback, you become humble, I feel, because then these are my areas of working. Otherwise you'll be like, oh my god, I'm too good and I keep demanding. So why while you have to demand and while you have to say what you want, but also take feedback, only then you'll be able to. So that's, I think that's my point on way of being humble and working on your areas of improvement. I'm sorry, I missed the other question. The second
Yeah,
question was
before we move on to this, I have a follow-up question to this. So
yes,
basically,
yes,
you're saying don't assume that you're doing the best job. Get validation from everybody,
correct,
whoever is involved, like your boss, your peers, and
correct,
your your customers and clients, right? That will also kind of uh, guide you where you can improve one thing.
correct,
And also let your manager or your boss have this in his forefront of his mind, that okay, you're doing this good, this job is good, this part of the job you're doing good, this is your something which you're doing good, this is something which you have to improve. And you also have the points to discuss, like whenever it comes to the time of
correct.
appraisal, or
Hmm.
getting a pay raise or promotions or whatever it is. The follow-up question is, how often should someone do this in a regular corporate setting? Is there a kind of cadence someone has to follow for soliciting feedback? How do you guide? How do you advise someone to do this?
See, it depends on the criticality of your role, right? How critical your role is and how real time you would like. Feedback can be real time, to be very honest. But again, if I knock the door every day and I say, please give me feedback, it sounds like it's really not going to happen, right? I mean, people don't have all the time and energy. See, if your criticality of your role is, for example, you're into sales or you're into a customer facing role, and maybe you're new entry in the team, you're learning the job new, you can probably have a weekly connect, you can have a weekly feedback mechanism. But now that you're stable in the company, you know what you're doing, your manager has told you, handover is done, people have taught you what needs to be done, then probably once a month at least, minimum once a month, a feedback or a review mechanism is very very important. Seeking feedback, because that's what, like what you said, and that also goes back as a documented action item, that in tomorrow I can, in my next review meeting, I can say that, okay, boss, you had told me to work on 1, 2, 3, 4 points. I have worked on these points, and this is where I am. Please tell me what else now, right? So, I would love to work with a person like that. If I'm a manager, I would love to work with a person like that, because you know what? I can see the sincerity. I can see that this person really wants to improve, and this person really, really is growing in life. I'm going a little back in time. Go back to school. The teacher would pay attention to the person, to the child who is asking maximum questions, coming for checking your books, right? Why? Because, and then we will blame the teacher, he's his favorite child. Why is the favorite child? Because the child is showing their interest in learning. The child is going back and saying, ma'am, please can you check my book, right? So I think, yeah, that's very very important. Monthly feedback is very important for at every position, at every for every employee. Imagine
Yeah.
you have the opportunity to get 12 feedbacks before your annual appraisal, and if your manager has given you consistently 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 12 good feedbacks, how on earth will he not give you good feedback in the last appraisal?
Yeah.
So that's how it articulates, right? I mean, it's humanly impossible for him to say, no, boss. Now, in the end, he'll say, Adarsh, no, you've done a pathetic job. He can't say that, because you have series of, reviews which has happened and you've documented it. So play the smart game. If they are tricking you, you also play the smart game. Get that feedback done.
You talked about school. I couldn't help but go back in time. There were two kinds of favorites to the teacher. The one who is the first rank student, the one who is the chamcha. So,
Chamcha, exactly.
yeah, that's the negative connotation. But you should be someone who is ready to engage and have this kind of relationship, right? You have to
Mm-hmm.
build this relationship as you are working. Okay, that is also
Absolutely.
very important, because uh, one third of your life you're spending in at your job, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Though the follow-up question was, what if your manager is taking advantage of you? You have done all the things, like
Mm.
you have taken care. You have taken care that you're doing your job right. You're making his job easy, his life easy. You have taken the feedback and everything. You have done perfectly, but still you get betrayed. What do you do?
So I would counter ask the question to you. Imagine yourself in a relationship, okay? In a
Mm.
relationship with your partner, okay? In a and you have done everything. You're the one who's a giver. You've done everything. You've expressed your love, your affection. You've showered your appreciations. You've done all the activities that she has asked you to do, and but still you're getting betrayed. Still you're seeing no answer. The person doesn't understand, or is not reciprocating, or not giving you what you want. What will you do?
Take a call
Yeah,
whether this
thank you.
relationship is for me or no. Yeah,
Yeah, take a call. Yeah, end it. Khatam.
yeah,
It's toxic. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, see, it's about every relationship, right? Again, but before you've done that, I come back on the same thing. Have you done your checks and balances? Have you communicated? Have you taken feedback? Have you understood? I'm not saying there are not many scrupulous managers out there. They might be, right? But again, have you shown your intent? Have you taken initiative? Have you done that? All that you have to do, all those, those goody things that you're supposed to do that we talked about, right? Once you've done all of that, still you're seeing no end to it. You're just seeing that he's using you like a carpet, and he's just walking all over you. Then what is stopping you to leave? I see so many people cribbing, hating their bosses, hating their company politics, but still there for 7 years, 8 years, in the belief that something tomorrow is going to happen, some magic wand is going to change that manager. No, it's not. He has that perception about you that you're no good, and you've tried everything to change that perception, and you have not been able to do that. What's stopping you? There's enough and many jobs outside. What's stopping you to leave and go? Because the
Yeah.
more you be in that relationship, whether it's a personal relationship or an official, what are you doing? You're harming yourself. You're
Yes,
demeaning your own self confidence.
absolutely.
You're demeaning your own self belief. The more I'm
Yeah.
there, I have seen people 15 years, 12 years, 13 years, they're there in that toxic environment. What's happening? Your confidence level is going down every single day.
Mm.
You don't even know your full potential. Probably if you move out at the right time, you could have done much better outside in some other job. Someone else will value you. You've taken
Yeah.
your learnings here. So yeah, I would just one solution. Yeah, please don't be there. What happens is we pour in more in the pursuit of or an expectation or a hope that things will work out. It doesn't work out. If they don't value us, you have to value yourself, treat yourself with respect, and move out. I think that is the one answer for that.
So a lot of people have this fear, like, and there's some people also, they got emotionally attached to the job, like they have spent some, like 8 9 10 years in a job. They have completely emotionally attached themselves to that job. They are comfortable, they are in a comfortable place. Maybe their career is not growing, but the place they are, the city they are, everything is settled down, and it's a big change, right? Whenever they want to change, I think that is one thing which is stopping. And there is also this fear of the unknown, right? And you are used to certain organization for, let's say, few years, maybe 4 5 6 years, and then when
Hmm.
you move to another organization, it is always like starting from scratch, building the trust again. There is always this fear. How can someone deal with this? How would you advise a person who is at this stage?
A very nice word that you use, comfort, right? And a
Mm,
lot of people are in their comfort zone. I say that it's not comfort zone, it's actually a danger zone, right? I heard in one of the seminars, one of my mentors using this sentence, and I would quote that here: your comfort zone is inversely proportional to your success. The more comfortable you are, the less successful you will be. The less comfortable you are, the more successful you will be. So if you really want to grow, you have to have your ass on fire, get up and keep moving, right? You need to take that risk. You can't be sitting in the couch and saying, oh, the company is bad, the manager is bad, they're paying me peanuts, but still I'm here because I've stayed here for 15 years. You can continue staying there for another 15 years, nothing is going to change. So you have to move out. You have to be uncomfortable. You have to see, and this is something which we teach our children, right? I mean, we tell them, we can't, as parents, we can't catch hold of the child for the rest of their life and make them walk, right? At some point in time we leave them. Why? And we let them fall. So you also have to get up and learn to fall and stumble and then come out of it. So I think we have to go back to, the survival mode. Our life has always taught us all those things. If you had been in that comfort zone, you wouldn't have ever walked in your life. If your parents would have only caught you in their hand. So it's about that. You have to allow yourself out, and start small. I know it's difficult. It's easier said than done. It's very difficult. But start small, and give yourself a picture that, what is life going to be. And I would say, the pain and pleasure both. Okay, if I continue being in this place for 15 years, what's my life going to be? And look at that pain, imagine that pain. In NLP we do a lot of visualization. Imagine that pain. You're going to have a lot of regret. You're going to be like, life could have been difficult, and regret is a very bad emotion to have, right? I will regret in my life. I'll not get money. I'll probably get only 2%, 3% in appraisal every year. And look, do the math. Your salary is growing and inflation is going double of that, right? So what are you going to do after that 15 years being there? So give yourself that idea of how much pain you'll be suffering when if you continue. And on the other side, give yourself that vision of how much pleasure you will be getting if you come out of that comfort zone, right? If you come out of that position and look outside and do that. And yeah, I think start small is what I say. Is that is one way to pain and pleasure technique is what I use to kind of startle people and shake them up and say that it's not right, you have to move out now. And don't emotionally get attached to your company. You're not married to your company. you know uh, these days even marriages don't survive. So yeah, forget about company, right? So we are not, none of us is married to our company. It's no point, it's just a part of our life, it's not our life. Our work, by the way, 8 hours, 10 hours we work, it's one third of our life, it's not our life. We don't have to revolve our life around just the company, just the work, just the professional aspect. And one thing I'd like to say is, if you're so much still worried about not getting a job and what will happen, I won't recommend that you just leave and then start looking out. While you're there, start looking out. Do your background check, right? While you're there, start building your resume, start applying, talk to people outside. And no company will stop you from applying to places, right? Talk to your peers outside who are moving into different companies. I'm sure you have worked in so many years, 5, 6, 7 years bhi agar kisi ne kaam kar liya, they would have some friends and some alliances, right? So at the background, start to do that background work of checking out and looking out and giving interviews and things like that. And then when you have 2, 3, 4 options, then take a call, then take a judicial call. But I think it's important to not be in their comfort zone. Otherwise, people will really, really, you're only adding on, like I said earlier, you're only adding on to your own self-esteem issues, which at some point in time, after a point in time, it becomes untreatable, actually. Right? It affects your entire life, so yeah.
When you're talking about this, I remembered something which I read recently. A
Hmm.
lot of people, they get stuck in a situation, then they would prefer to stay in the same situation. It may be hurting them, it may be killing their self-esteem and pride. Uh, but this is a thing. A lot of people are okay with the known pain than the
Hmm.
uncertain pleasure. Right?
Hmm.
Whenever you're looking for something else, something new, it is uncertain. You don't know how it will turn out. That there is this fear element involved.
Hmm.
But this is human nature. Like, it's always comfortable to be with the known pain than the uncertain pleasure. And I
Correct.
think a lot of people, if they understand just this, I think it can be life changing for them. Right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. This is a matter of being not being resilient, right, and being scared of change, right. And I think uh, that is an element which is there. A lot of people do struggle with that even till today. A simple exercise that I tell to people, and people follow that as well. And I've also read it somewhere, is that don't make massive changes. Try to do some small changes. Say five small changes, five small things you have changed in your regular repertoire every single day. It's about building that muscle. It's our bodies are all about neurotransmitters and how we are building the muscle. For example, one of my mentors says that if you're so used to brushing your teeth from the right hand, try brushing it from the left hand, right? If you play badminton, I did that. I used to play I mean, I still play badminton with my right hand. I'm a right-handed person, but for some time start playing badminton with your left hand. So you're basically you're telling your mind, it's you're giving instructions to your mind, signaling to your mind that my body is getting ready to change. Small changes, not big changes, small changes. Maybe you're used to traveling office from the same route every single day. Take a different route today. you know. And see how your body is reacting to that. So it's all intertwined in our neural pathway, our muscle system, right? If we are able to then, for week, 10 days, 30 days, if you're able to make those small changes and you're seeing that your body is adapting to that, that is when you're ready for
Mhm.
bigger changes. So those are small things, that you can do. But definitely, not a fear is something which, if you are into that situation, whether it's fear of change or whether it's a fear of unknown or whatever, it's going to resist you, it's going to, it's going to limit you. So it's important to come out of that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for all the time you have spent with us today. And I think there are a lot of things we could talk, but we have to respect the time limit also. So, and I'm sure you would like to come back again, right? This is a commitment I take from
Absolutely.
everybody who's coming on the show. Yeah.
And absolutely,
Before
I would love to. I would love.
yeah, before I let you go, what would be your short message, if you want to, if we have missed something to our listeners, to excel in their professional careers, if you have some message to leave, a parting message, that will be nice.
Yeah, thank you, Adarsh, and I really had a great time. And I'll just say, since you're a men's transformation coach, right? Transformation starts like what we had spoken. Transformation starts from understanding, from self awareness. Okay, I think first thing, I always, any kind of change, and transformation is a elevated version of change, right? When you're going through that, that caterpillar buds into a butterfly, it's also going through that change. We all need to go through that change, but before that, awareness is very, very important. Become aware of your own strengths, become aware of your own weaknesses, become aware of your own blind spots, and all these things that we discussed will really, really help you to become aware of where you stand in your life. Not treating yourself with assumptions, whether it's limiting or whether it's entitled assumptions, right? Either of them is not good. So become aware. Self awareness is the first step to change, is what I would like to say. And the second thing is, I think it's one life. Live the way you want to live, be the best version of yourself, invest in your own self development. There is no better learning than that, no better happiness than that. I mean, you can go outside, do anything or do anything for anyone, but I think if you see yourself becoming every day, becoming a better version of yourself, I keep saying there is no comparison, right? People compare, I would compare myself with others, or others would compare himself with someone else, and and then we become very, we become very negative, because we are comparing with a different individual in a different entity. He lives in a different universe. Their life is different, their environment is different. So why compare with others? The best thing to compare is compare yourself with your own self. 1 year back, the Swati that I was, 1 year back, the others that I was, am I any better today? And that is a very good measure of success. There's a very good measure of progress, which will keep you motivated to become better every single day. I mean, whether it's your physical self, whether it's your learning quotient, whether it's your finances, whether it's your relationships, whatever, in every aspect of your life, have you become better? If not, then work on that first, then go and work on something else in life. I think that those are the parting messages, others, from my side. I had a really, really fun time chatting up with you, and I hope I could pass on some information to your viewers.
It was an honor to have you, and you have shared a lot of golden nuggets here, and especially the last message. How I would like to summarize is, uh, the greatest fulfillment and pleasure is in the progress, right? That is the short form of what message you shared. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming here. If someone wants to get in touch with you, how they can contact you, get in touch with you, get your help to excel in
I'm
their career?
available everywhere on social media. So Instagram, like I said, my handle is Mind Code Swati on Instagram and Facebook. I am there on Instagram, and you can also ping me on LinkedIn. If you're a LinkedIn user, if you're a working professional, you can ping me on LinkedIn. My title is Swati Arora, ICF ACC coach. Yeah. So and also on YouTube, wherever you want, you can just DM me on Mind Code Swati, and I'll be happy to help you in your journey wherever you are. Thank you so much.
I'll make sure to put all the links in the description and the show notes here. So thank you again, Swati,
Thank
and
you.
looking forward to the next one.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Adarsh. Thank you.